NEC Section 4 addresses neutral conductors. Specifically, Section 4 pertains to the insulated neutral requirement. Section 4a uncovers general requirements. Where an alternating current system is grounded, an insulated neutral conductor must complete the circuit back to the source. The neutral conductor must have an ampacity adequate for the load current it carries, as calculated according to Section 220.61. Section 4 ATWO states that equipment grounding conductors should not be used as a neutral conductor. This reinforces the separation of the grounding and neutral paths for safety and proper circuit operation. Section 4 A3 dictates the size of the neutral conductor on a 3-wire circuit. It must be large enough to carry the maximum unbalanced current from the opposite polarity conductor connected to the system, as calculated according to Section 220.61b. An exception to this rule is found in Section 215.2 Now let's delve deeper into these sections to fully understand the requirements for dedicated neutral conductors. The core principle here is to ensure a safe and reliable electrical system. Sharing a neutral conductor between multiple branch circuits, often referred to as a multi-wire branch circuit, can create potential hazards if not implemented correctly. A dedicated neutral conductor for each branch circuit ensures that the neutral path has sufficient ampacity to handle the maximum potential current flow without overloading. This reduces the risk of overheating, fire, and equipment damage. It's important to note that the NEC allows multi-wire branch circuits under specific conditions, but these installations require careful consideration of the neutral conductor's ampacity and the use of a common disconnecting means. When calculating the neutral conductor's ampacity, Section 220.61 provides the guidelines. This calculation considers the unbalanced load, which is the difference between the current flowing on the different phase conductors of the circuit. For example, in a 120 volts/240 volts multi-wire branch circuit, the neutral conductor only carries the difference in current between the two 120 volts legs. However, certain types of loads, such as nonlinear loads, can produce harmonic currents that significantly increase the current flowing in the neutral conductor. In these cases, the neutral conductor must be sized to accommodate the harmonic currents. The prohibition of using equipment grounding conductors as neutral conductors is a fundamental safety requirement. The equipment grounding conductor provides a low impedance path for fault current to return to the source, tripping the circuit breaker or fuse and quickly de-energizing the circuit. This helps to prevent electrical shock hazards. If the equipment grounding conductor were also used as a neutral conductor, any fault current could flow through the grounding path, potentially energizing the enclosures of electrical equipment and creating a dangerous shock hazard. The exception mentioned in Section 215.2 pertains to feeder neutral conductors under specific conditions. It allows for a reduction in the size of the feeder neutral conductor in certain situations where the load is primarily nonlinear and the neutral current is significantly less than the phase current. However, this exception should be applied with caution and only after careful consideration of the load characteristics and the potential for harmonic currents. Let's consider some practical examples to illustrate the importance of dedicated neutral conductors. Firstly, imagine a scenario where two 120 volts branch circuits share a common neutral conductor. If both circuits are loaded to a maximum capacity of 20 amps, the neutral conductor would be carrying 40 amps. If the neutral conductor is only sized for 20 amps, it would be overloaded, leading to overheating and potentially a fire. Secondly, suppose one of the branch circuits experiences a ground fault. If the equipment grounding conductor is also used as the neutral conductor, the fault current could flow through the grounding path, energizing the enclosures of electrical equipment and creating a shock hazard. Thirdly, consider a multi-wire branch circuit serving several computers and electronic devices. These devices often produce harmonic currents that can significantly increase the current flowing in the neutral conductor. If the neutral conductor is not sized to accommodate these harmonic currents, it could become overloaded, leading to equipment malfunction and potential fire. To ensure compliance with the NEC requirements, it's essential to carefully plan and install electrical systems. This includes properly sizing the neutral conductors, separating the grounding and neutral paths, and using appropriate wiring methods. Regular inspections and testing can also help to identify potential problems and ensure that the electrical system is operating safely and reliably. In addition to the NEC requirements, local codes and regulations may also apply. It's important to consult with a qualified electrician or electrical engineer to ensure that the electrical system meets all applicable requirements. Proper installation and maintenance of electrical systems are crucial for preventing electrical hazards and ensuring the safety of people and property. Understanding the NEC requirements for dedicated neutral conductors is a fundamental aspect of electrical safety. By following these guidelines, electricians and electrical engineers can help to create safe and reliable electrical systems that protect people and property from electrical hazards. Remember to always consult the latest edition of the NEC and any applicable local codes and regulations before installing or modifying electrical systems. This information is for educational purposes only and should not be considered a substitute for professional electrical advice. Always consult with a qualified electrician or electrical engineer before working on electrical systems. The importance of correctly sizing the neutral conductor cannot be overstated. An undersized neutral conductor can lead to a multitude of problems, ranging from nuisance tripping of circuit breakers to catastrophic failures resulting in fire. In addition to the risks associated with overloading, an undersized neutral conductor can also contribute to voltage drops and poor power quality. This can negatively impact the performance of sensitive electronic equipment and reduce the efficiency of electrical appliances. Conversely, an oversized neutral conductor provides no additional benefit and simply adds to the cost of the installation. Therefore, it's crucial to accurately calculate the required ampacity of the neutral conductor based on the expected load and the potential for harmonic currents. The use of appropriate wiring methods is also essential for ensuring the safety and reliability of electrical systems. This includes using the correct type of wire, properly terminating connections, and protecting conductors from physical damage. Improper wiring methods can lead to loose connections, short circuits, and other electrical hazards. Regular inspections and testing can help to identify potential problems and ensure that the electrical system is operating safely and reliably. This includes visually inspecting wiring and connections, testing for ground faults, and measuring voltage and current levels. Any problems that are identified should be promptly addressed by a qualified electrician. The NEC provides comprehensive guidelines for the installation and maintenance of electrical systems. Adhering to these guidelines is crucial for preventing electrical hazards and ensuring the safety of people and property. It's important to stay up to date on the latest changes to the NEC, as these changes can have a significant impact on electrical installations. Continuing education and training are essential for electricians and electrical engineers to maintain their knowledge and skills and stay abreast of the latest industry standards and best practices. This information is intended to provide a general overview of the NEC requirements for dedicated neutral conductors. It is not intended to be a comprehensive guide to electrical installation and should not be used as a substitute for professional electrical advice. Always consult with a qualified electrician or electrical engineer before working on electrical systems. The NEC is a complex and ever-evolving document. It's important to have a thorough understanding of the code and its application to specific electrical installations. This requires ongoing study and training. In addition to the NEC, there are other relevant standards and codes that may apply to electrical installations. These include standards published by organizations such as the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers (IEE) and the National Fire Protection Association (NFPA). It's important to be familiar with these standards and codes and to ensure that electrical installations comply with all applicable requirements. The goal of electrical safety is to protect people and property from electrical hazards. This requires a comprehensive approach that includes proper design, installation, and maintenance of electrical systems. By adhering to the NEC and other relevant standards and codes, electricians and electrical engineers can help to create safe and reliable electrical systems that minimize the risk of electrical accidents. Furthermore, understanding the underlying principles of electricity and electrical safety is crucial for making informed decisions about electrical installations. This includes understanding concepts such as voltage, current, resistance, and impedance, as well as the effects of electricity on the human body. With a solid foundation of knowledge and a commitment to safety, electricians and electrical engineers can help to ensure that electrical systems are installed and maintained in a safe and reliable manner. The information provided here is for educational purposes only and should not be considered a substitute for professional electrical advice. Always consult with a qualified electrician or electrical engineer before working on electrical systems. They can assess the specific requirements of the installation and provide guidance on the appropriate wiring methods and safety precautions. The proper selection and installation of overcurrent protection devices, such as circuit breakers and fuses, are also critical for electrical safety. These devices are designed to protect circuits from overloads and short circuits, preventing damage to equipment and reducing the risk of fire. It's important to select overcurrent protection devices that are properly rated for the circuit they are protecting and to install them in accordance with the NEC requirements. Regular testing of overcurrent protection devices is also recommended to ensure that they are functioning properly. Ground fault circuit interrupters (GFCIs) are another important safety device that can help to prevent electrical shock hazards. GFCIs are designed to detect ground faults, which occur when current leaks from a circuit to ground. When a ground fault is detected, the GFCI quickly trips the circuit, interrupting the flow of electricity and preventing electrical shock. GFCIs are required in many locations, such as bathrooms, kitchens, and outdoor areas, where there is a high risk of exposure to water. Arc fault circuit interrupters of size are a newer type of safety device that can help to prevent fires caused by electrical arcs. Electrical arcs can occur when there is a loose connection or damaged insulation in a circuit. These arcs can generate a significant amount of heat, which can ignite nearby combustible materials and cause a fire. SIs are designed to detect electrical arcs and quickly trip the circuit, interrupting the flow of electricity and preventing a fire. SIs are now required in many locations, such as bedrooms and living rooms. In addition to using safety devices, it's also important to practice safe electrical work habits. This includes always turning off the power before working on electrical circuits, using insulated tools, and wearing appropriate personal protective equipment. It's also important to be aware of the potential hazards associated with electricity and to take steps to minimize the risk of electrical accidents. By following these safety precautions, electricians and homeowners can help to protect themselves and others from electrical hazards. Remember, electricity is a powerful force that can be dangerous if not handled properly. Always exercise caution and follow the NEC requirements and other applicable safety standards when working with electricity. This detailed explanation provides a comprehensive understanding of the importance of dedicated neutral conductors and the relevant NEC requirements. By following these guidelines, electricians and electrical engineers can help to create safe and reliable electrical systems that protect people and property from electrical hazards. This information is for educational purposes only and should not be considered a substitute for professional electrical advice. Always consult with a qualified electrician or electrical engineer before working on electrical systems.